JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the last trading day of October. So yep, today's the 31st of October 2022. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session as well. So yeah, at the beginning of the week, but the last trading day of October. So 2 months of autumn have passed already. I don't know where, but hey, you know, it is how it is. So before we jump into the charts, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So yep, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. Oh, and by the way, the new video time, as you understood, is 7 GMT now. So yep, I had to turn the clocks again. So, but yeah, now it's like 7 o'clock GMT times. Anyway, quick mentioning of our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. So let's jump into the chart. I'll pick up on the instruments that I looked at on Thursday. As you know, there was no webinar on Friday. So yeah, let's pick up on where we have left with on Thursday. So Nikkei 225, beautiful move to the upside. Look, I mean, this is a bit of I would say annoying. Look, we had a breakout of this through this upside line here. We had a nice drop, but yeah, I mean, and then kind of it climbed back up again. We dropped lower. We fell below the 21-day EMA, but we didn't really close below the 21-day EMA, so it acted as a nice area of support, and we've pushed back up. Of course, this has been driven by the whole positivity that we saw on Friday in the stock market. So yeah, continuation move higher. At this point, look, I mean, I am not gonna get very comfortable with neither here, neither the upside nor the downside. For the upside, I would like to see a clear break through this downside line here, taken from the high of the 17th of August. For the downside, probably a drop below the 21-day EMA might do the trick here for a few more sellers. Now, Shanghai Composite here. This one's actually on the lower side. Yep, I mean, it drifted to the downside today, and look at this on Friday. I mean, it fell apart here. It moved lower. Yes, it closed earlier than the European and the US markets, kind of, so before that whole positivity that kicked in. So it didn't really, and you were kind of thinking that maybe, hey, it's going to spill into today's kind of, you know, trading session, and we might see a nice good push higher today. Well, initially it was the case. However, we got the manufacturing PMI numbers, manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI numbers from China, and those actually fell into contraction. So they came out below 50, and the manufacturing PMI, the expectation was 50. They came out below 50, 49.2, and non-manufacturing PMI, so 48.7. So we're no longer in expansionary territory, we're in contraction territory. So, and that's where the negativity kicked in here, and we saw a decline. Now, what I talked about previously, I said that if we fall below this hurdle, this 2,937, I will go lower, where my next target will be this lowest point of April of, near the 2,864 area. Now the ASX 200. Now this one's looking a little bit more interesting. However, look, I mean, I was watching this nice little range here. It kind of got violated, and we saw a push higher. And we look, the 100-day EMA did its job, provided good resistance, and then we fell back down. Now, in terms of the downside, I would say, look, I mean, this level. Oh, sorry. In terms of not the downside, but in terms of like just what's next here, basically, the fact that we climbed above the 100-day EMA and stayed above it today, that's great, wonderful. I would say this kind of gives a bit of hope here for more buyers. So if we continue to trade above that 100-day EMA, my next target is the 200-day EMA only. Yes, I have this level as 6,858 area, roughly around here, but to be honest, it's not really kind of holding, or in general, lately the levels are not really playing out much. So probably just going to stick to some EMAs instead. I'm going to mark this level just in case here. That's the high of last week near the 6,848. Probably that's the little bit more attractive level than the other ones. But yeah, if we clear this level, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in. Now, in terms of the downside, this is, yeah, I'm removing that upper side of the range that I talked about previously. I think that it's no longer valid, so mainly just kind of I'll stick to some of these other EMAs and levels. So yeah, for the downside, maybe a drop below the 6,752 territory might do the trick. However, we do have the 21-day EMA, which could also play out nicely. So yeah, if we drop below the 21-day EMA, I'll get a little bit more excited with the downside. However, I'll still have to leave an element of the doubt, because look, I mean, we did fall below the 21-day EMA a few times here, and then it reversed back to the upside, so something similar could happen again. Now, the German index, DAX. Okay, so this one popped higher on Friday, and we moved and we stayed above this downside line. Now look, we did so also on Thursday, but then yes, this activity kind of pre-open activity did push it back down. However, one thing that really worked out nicely was the fact that we kind of stayed above that 100-day EMA, and that means that yeah, this 100-day EMA did its job. Thank you very much on that. So we are now kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside. However, let me just quickly take a look at the cash index, see where we are at right now. So 13,272. So basically, we are above Friday's close. Now, if we continue to trade above the, well, actually, this is where I'm going to mention this short-term tentative upside line here, taken from the low of the 13th of October. If we continue to trade above it, then yes, my next target is the 200-day EMA, guys. In terms of the downside, at this point, probably I would like to see if we can actually break this upside line, and if we can fall below the 100-day EMA. If we fall below it, then we break this upside line. That's where I'll maybe get a little bit more excited with the downside. However, there are obstacles on the way lower, so we will have to be a little bit on the careful side on this one. Nasdaq 100, beautiful push back up here. We broke. Look, this is where it's annoying because what I talked about previously about this, and I said that hey, maybe this rising channel could work out nicely. So if we break the rising channel to the downside here, maybe some lower levels could be met. And in a way, initially it was the case. We were kind of drifting nicely lower, but then it reversed back to the upside. And I think what's best here to do is to remove all the drawings and start fresh, because again, I will start putting line on line on line, and then we're going to get kind of overcrowded in there. Now, Of course, the fact that we are below the 200, the 100-day EMAs, that's of course is a little bit of a bearish indication. However, from the shorter term perspective, yes, we are pushing a little bit higher. We could still make our way a little bit higher, so there is still, you know, a chance for that. Another thing that what I'm keeping an eye on and is this time I'm having a closer look at the MACD here and the RSI. You can see that we on the RSI we have climbed above the 50 mark here, and on the MACD we are having a nice we're coming closer to zero. Again, that doesn't mean that this is gonna be like, you know, it's gonna break out higher and we're gonna go to the upside. No, it's just it's a lagging indicator, so just remember that, guys. It doesn't really like, for example, here when it also back in June, beginning of June, it also came very close to zero and then kind of reversed and boom, we got a decline here. But here, as you can see, we kind of created this nice divergence, and we saw then a rally. Then the rally came. So at the moment, I would say I'll be careful here. We'll probably stick to some levels. But another thing that I wanted to say is that, look, maybe we have ourselves here something of a inverted head and shoulders. Again, not confirmed, so not ideal even, I would say. But if it is the case, then, well, wait for that confirmation break of the neckline, and then we could go higher. And at this point, probably what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just stick to some EMAs for now. So if we do push through this so let's call it a neckline. For now, if we push through it, then yes, my next target is the 100-day EMA or even the 200-day EMA. However, for the downside, in order to get comfortable with some lower levels, I would probably stick to Friday's low near the 11,177 territory. A drop below it may attract a few more sellers into the game, where we could aim for that the lowest point of October. Now, I doubt that we will reach it, or let's say we'll break it today. However, yeah, I mean, yes, it's the current lowest point, but we have 1 day left, so I don't think that it's gonna go all the way there and test the lowest point of October, the current lowest point of October. But anyway, of course, anything can happen, so we cannot really kind of exclude any scenario. Anyway, I am kind of cautiously bullish on this one, to be honest, but I need that confirmation break here through this so-called neckline. Dow Jones Industrial Average, a beautiful explosion, honestly, beautiful move here. I talked about this, and look, I mean, I was aiming higher, and maybe I was hoping to see a bit of a retracement of some sort, given the fact that we got a hold up here near this 200-day EMA, and we also kind of formed a nice shooting star here as well. So maybe I was really hoping to see a little bit of a retracement, and then maybe a further move north. Well, the further move north worked out better, and we made our way towards actually this little level right here. This inside swing low of the 24th of August near the 32,828. We overshot that level by a little bit, but hey, it's still okay. The cash index, by the way, right now is sitting at around 32,803. So basically slightly below this barrier. And I would say if you want to go higher, then wait for a push above this hurdle above this barrier, and then we could go a little bit more to the upside. Of course, we do have these levels that are in the way, but again, let's go slowly on this, step by step. And if you're looking for some lower levels, then a break of this upside line would be needed. Ideally, I would probably like to see it drop somewhere below the 100-day EMA. So yeah, there's a lot of ifs here. The cash index right now is still sitting high. maybe a bit of a retracement. I would like to see that, of course, myself, but towards the 200-day EMA. But again, let's see how that's going to play out. If it trades here somewhere, I will say I'm gonna be like a little bit on the neutral side and wait until I'll get a nice breakout. DXY, the dollar index, so a bit of recovery. That's all fine. Look, I mean, we've tested this 110 territory and dropped below it a little bit, and then reversed back to the upside. We're climbing back now above this 110 zone. Now, something that I need to redraw here, I think that, first of all, this arrow, I think something like this could be more possible right now. So we're a bit of a retracement right now. We're seeing a bit of a retracement to the upside, but if it holds below the 21-day EMA, then yes, another decline here could be possible. Now, in terms of the other thing here, look, this is what I'm redrawing right now, and potentially we could be seeing a falling, like a falling wedge. According to all the TA rules, these tend to break to the upside. So in a way, let's put it this way: we could see a push higher. Let's see if we can test this 21-day EMA or the area near the 21-day EMA. If we can do that, then yes, maybe a decline back down here could be possible. We could test this upside line near the 100-day EMA as well, and if all this holds, great, we could see a nice rebound and a push higher. But if this is not a falling wedge pattern, well, then watch out maybe for that breakout below this upside line, and then yeah, we could go to the downside. Gold. So gold is still stuck. I told you about this, and I said, look, I mean, maybe we're forming something of a descending triangle pattern. Overall, we're still on a decline. We're still on we're trending lower. But if you're looking for some, like deeper declines here, well, certainly keep your eyes on this 1615 level, because if this gets broken, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. What I talked about previously last week as well, that if we drop below the 1642 zone, then this may bring the commodity a little bit lower towards that psychological 1600 level again, and then we could see maybe that breakout. But for the upside, well, I would like to see a push above the 1684 territory right here. At the same time, we could get a nice breakout here through this barrier, and more buyers could join in. WTI oil. So this one is, well, it tested perfectly my areas, my targets. So around that 90 level, the psychological 90 level, just fell shy by a few points maybe from reaching exactly 90, but I'll take that. It's all okay. Now the next question here is, can we go further north? Well, I'm watching that 90 level. If we clear it, then yes, I'll go to the upside. If we fail to clear it, I will remain somewhat on the neutral side, because, well, for the downside, actually, I would like to see it drop again below this highlighted zone. I get it. I don't have like a specific level here, but to be honest, all of these levels are somehow playing out, so rather kind of stick to all of them actually. And if we clear this whole zone, this whole territory, and we, let's say, start clearing the last 82.50 territory somewhere around here, then yes, I will go further south. Now, in terms of the idea here, maybe to see like a triangle pattern or something like that, yes, maybe it might be the case. Don't get me wrong. It might, we could start drawing here, let's say something like that, okay, it all might make sense. But again, it's like very subjective at this point here, so nothing really that great, I would say. So again, look, with this downside, I'll remove it, and it's a little bit in the way. With with the upside here, let's say if we do push above the 90 level, of course, ideally I'm aiming for this 93.62, but we have these two EMAs here as well, which could play out, and could provide resistance. So you have to be careful here and just to kind of take everything step by step. Ethereum, okay, so a little bit more life in this one, finally. So we're pushing higher, and we pushed higher, and we broke above this downside line taken from the high of the 1st of December of 2021. So we cleared it, and we managed to stay above it. So if we continue to trade above it, guys, I will aim for that 200-day EMA, which is not far from that 1789 level right here. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 1219 zone right here, and then go to the downside. AUD USD, so yeah, in a bit of a roller coaster, I would say, last week, and today we're just holding still to that 21-day EMA. Okay, so at the moment, at this point, look, it did do kind of, I would say, 75% of my my move here. It broke out higher above the 0.6411. It moved higher. Yes, my target was the 0.6547, but yeah, it didn't really reach exactly that level. It came very close and then declined, but now it's still holding above this 21-day EMA. So if you're looking for some higher levels at this point, well, I would say probably just leave it for now. I mean, it's really tricky whenever it kind of starts doing something like this. It's very tricky. So I rather wait for maybe a better opportunity here. So for me, the better opportunity for the upside, for example, could come on this break of the 0.6547 territory. For the downside, I would like to see a break of this upside line here. Again, it's a little bit on the tentative side, but still, nevertheless, it might do the job here and open the door for more sellers. AUD and ZD, so boom, mission accomplished, fantastic. So what I was talking about previously, look, I said that the AUD and ZD is one of my favorite pairs, and you can see why, because I kind of got this one right, I think. So we pushed higher. I said that, look, we might see a hold up near this 100-day EMA, and if we do, another decline here could be possible, where we could end up testing the 200-day EMA, which we finally did. And now the question here is, can we go lower? Now, if we just evaluate this overall, you can see that we have not crossed the 200-day EMA to the downside, or let's say we haven't been on below the 200-day EMA since December, and almost for the whole year. We have been drifting higher, and now we're just kind of giving these positions away. So look, this is going to be quite interesting to see if we can actually finally drop below that 200-day EMA. At the moment, I think that it might stall here a little bit, so we might see something like this happening again. So again, if we don't break the downside line straight away, then I would say, sorry, not the downside line, to apologize, the 200-day EMA. If we don't break it straight away, then we might see a little rebound here, or maybe a test of this downside line, and then we'll have to just take it from there. See if it holds, if it doesn't hold. If the downside line continues to hold, then yep, another decline like this could be possible. So the standard stuff here. But again, if we start breaking this 200-day EMA straight away, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more sellers again, guys, and we could start aiming for some of these levels. USD CHF, just a quick update. Okay, look, I mean, I talked about this, and I said that if we rebound here and get a hold up below this 21-day EMA near this 0.9916, then another decline here could be possible. Well, we didn't get the hold up. Instead, we got a breakout. Here we broke higher, and I said that if we climb back above the 0.9962 territory right here, I will aim for the upside, a little bit for the upside, right towards this highlighted zone in between, in between the 1.0050 and the 1.0064 levels. So I'm going to stick to that rule, and as long as we continue to trade above this 0.9962 territory, I'll aim for this highlighted zone. USD CAD, also quite interesting, not as, let's say, positive as USD CHF, and just to let you know, I'm also not very, let's say, radically positive on USD CHF. No, I'm just aiming for this little territory here, and then we'll just, you know, go from there. Also, just bear with me one moment. I think I need to quickly double check something right here. Okay, all right, okay. Right. Anyway, so USD CAD, yes, we are having a nice rebound from this territory, this highlighted zone. I talked about this. This is 1.35. Again, look, on the Thursday, I spoke about this, and I kept on saying, so far the pair, why is it not moving here? There we go. So the pair here is kind of respecting these like beautiful, nice numbers like 1.37, 36, 35, 34. So yeah, that's, and to be honest, I will probably stick to that. I'll probably stick to that because in order for me to go lower, I would like to see a drop below the 1.35 territory right here. For the upside, I would like to see a push above the 1.37. Simple as that. Because at the same time, a push above the 1.37 territory would break this downside line, because at the moment it seems like we're forming something of a descending triangle. However, it's not an ideal one, because somebody probably of you might look at this more of as like to a range here or something like that. So you know, so we can do that of course as well. Let me just put this probably on the chart. Where's that line? Parallel channels. So we can do similar stuff here with this, and yeah, we might see this nice falling channel here again. Could be the case, but still, for me, for the downside, I would like to see a drop below this 1.35 territory instead, and yeah, and wait, and then I'll go from there. USD/JPY very quickly on this one. So this one's a little bit of a mess. However, one of my levels worked out perfectly. So when I said that if we break this upside line, I'll aim for this 145 territory, which provided good support, and we rebounded from here. Now, let me remove a lot of things here because I think that it's getting a little bit complicated. Now this 147.65 zone, let me just remind you what that level is. So this is where we're currently sitting at, and that's the highest point of 1998, guys. We haven't been here since 1998. Can you imagine that? Like that's quite a lot of time. And if you remember, in the mid-October, I talked about this, and I said, look at the monthly look at the monthly chart, because it's going to be quite interesting to see if we can actually stay below this hurdle, below this area. If we stay for if we close the month below this, there is a chance that we could see a stronger reversal, maybe going to the downside. And yeah, that's and in general, we are due for a correction, kind of maybe like a stronger correction, but I'm watching this 147.65 very carefully, because again, it's going to be quite interesting to see if this is going to work out or not. But yeah, the highest point of 1998, we're currently flirting with that area. If we stay below this, then well, I am going lower, guys, especially if we fall below the 145 territory. For the upside, I'm going to take a very, very conservative approach and wait for a push above the 152 or 151.95 zone in order to get comfortable with the upside, because hey, all this area here for me is just kind of neutral. I'm neutral on this. GBP USD. This one's quite interesting. Look, it's kind of flagging out here a little bit. We're still above this barrier. Great, the 1.1496. And as I said before, I'm going to aim for the 1.1738 level instead, because that's near the 100-day EMA, and then I'll go from there. At the moment, that's my target. So yeah, as long as we stay above this 1.1496 zone. If we start falling below the 21-day EMA, I'll go to the downside. GBP CHF, look, I talked about this idea of a potential rising wedge pattern, but it broke the upper side, and this is what I said to you, like, look, it might not be even a rising wedge pattern. Maybe it's something else, who knows, but I mean, or maybe let's say we haven't finished with it yet. Maybe it's something like this. So it's really difficult to draw something like that. I mean, it's becoming very very subjective. I mean, it's not really that kind of accurate here. So some of the patterns show up there. You can straight away see that they're quite accurate. They're quite following the rules. But this one, we're trying to see here something. Maybe it's not here. So maybe we're trying to simplify our life here. But look, I would say either way, even if it is a rising wedge, still doesn't matter. Yes, it tends to break to the downside, but you need that confirmation breakout first. So for me, maybe a drop back below this 100-day EMA or the lower side of this potential rising wedge could do the trick. Yeah, at the moment it still has a chance to go higher because we are aiming maybe for this 200-day EMA if we pop above this upper side of the potential rising wedge. EURUSD. So this one's a mess. Look, I talked about this and I said that if we stay above the 200-day EMA, I'll continue aiming to the upside. At this point, look, we fell back below the 200-day EMA, and well, if we stay below this area, guys, I'm aiming lower. I'm aiming lower, and I'm not gonna, invent anything new here. Just I'm gonna stick to the same rule. For the upside, I will probably prefer to wait for a push above the highest point of October near the 1.3697 territory right there, and then we will kind of go from there, guys. And finally EURUSD. So yeah, guys, watch the news today. I think we have, let me just quickly double check. We have some data coming out from the European Union, the preliminary data, of course, the preliminary CPI and GDP numbers. So keep your eyes on that. It could be quite interesting. Yeah, looking at this from the technical perspective, look, I talked about this one level and said that if we push through this, I'll go higher. Initially, I'll aim for the 100-day EMA. If we clear that, then yes, I'll go for that 1.02 area. Well, we failed. We stalled near the 100-day EMA, and we found good resistance here, and we drifted back below the psychological 1 level. So what's next? I think that it's time. Well, actually, I'm not going to remove this downside line because look, we might see this one sliding a little bit lower, and maybe it's going to get us a hold up somewhere around here, and then maybe we'll get a nice rebound. So something like that might be possible, so keep your eyes on that. So if you're looking for some lower levels, I think that the more simple option is to wait for a break of this upside line. However, if you don't like that, then you can keep an eye on this 21-day EMA. A fall below it, a fall below the 0.9875 might attract a few more sellers here. We could see, maybe a drift towards that upside line, and then we'll go from there. So just keep that in mind. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Thank you very much for participating. I really appreciate your time, guys. So if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. And then, yeah, we'll have a look at some of these instruments, some new ones, and then we'll go from there. So, yeah, have a lovely trading day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.